Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and if you've logged into Marvel Future Fight in the last 24 hours, you've seen this tier 4 symbol right here, and you're now aware of the fact that if you want to, you can choose any character from this list and get a 40% discount on getting them up to tier 4.
It's about damn time.
And in addition to that, after you complete that mission and got that character up to tier 4, you will be able to get a 25% discount on 4 additional heroes or villains of your choice. This is absolutely amazing. I am so happy that these guys are actually making it easier for players to get access to tier 4s, especially when you consider that they have ramped up the release schedule for tier 4s recently. When tier 4s first came out, we were getting one every 30 days or so. Eventually they moved up to every 15 days. And recently, we got Mystique and Madeline tier 4 in the exact same update, which was a mid-month patch. And in that update cycle of 30 plus days, we got 3 tier 4s for the first time. And this update cycle is looking like it's going to be exactly the same thing, but more expensive, because this time around for the main update, we're getting 2 tier 2 natives getting tier 4 at the exact same time, Gladiator and Beta Ray Bill. And for the mid-month, they very well could give us 2 maybe tier 1 natives as tier 4s. For the first time ever, giving us a 4 tier 4 update cycle. It could happen. Not saying it should happen, not saying I want it to happen, but they're showing that they're ramping up the release schedule for tier 4 releases, which could mean a couple things that I'm going to talk about in this video. And one of the things I want to start off by saying is you should not be in a rush to use this tier 4 discount unless you are in dire need of one of the characters that is on this list. If they are super meta and you need them and you feel like you're going to get a good ROI, a good return on your investment, the rewards that you're using to rank up these characters, they're going to be able to give that back to you at least twofold over time, then definitely go ahead and pick those characters up. However, if not, you can leave this here and this will actually update with every update cycle, assuming the character that gets a tier 4 is a tier 1 native. Tier 2 native characters will not be on this list, and the same goes for tier 3 native. So you're never going to see Null in this specific tier 4 selector thing. You're never going to see somebody like Odin in here. You're never going to see somebody like Thanos, Jean Grey, etc. It's just going to be the characters that natively start off at tier 1, like Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, etc., that can go up to tier 4. A couple things are happening to this game at this point, and I've seen this happen multiple times before. Whenever they increase how often they release tier 2s or tier 3s, it generally means that something is coming that is going to require said characters. When we got access to basically farm infinite amount of black antimatter and chaos stormstones, they released World Boss Ultimate and thereafter World Boss Legend. So honestly, with them basically doing 2 things in this update: 1, giving us a way to get discounted tier 4s, and 2, giving us a way to get access to more, granted it's only 15% more tier 4 materials, it tells me that within about 6 months or so, we should expect to see a new piece of content drop for this game that now requires us to use tier 4 characters. Because not only are they making it so that we can get access to more tier 4 materials faster, but they're also giving us a way to get access to pretty much a full team of tier 4s within a couple weeks via this discount system here. You're getting access to 5 tier 4s at a discounted price. If you look at the numbers, it's basically 1.5 free tier 4, and you couple that with the fact that we have a 15% discount to the drop rate for World Boss Legend, right away you see that faster than ever we'll be able to get access to more and more tier 4 characters to kind of keep up with how often they're releasing tier 4s. Obviously, they don't want you to fully keep up because they still want you to spend, because the tier 4 packs is how they make the most money, but the fact still remains. So today I'm going to give you guys my list of the tier 4 characters to be considered if you do not have them already. However, I'm going to start off with the ones that have seasonal uniforms and that make the biggest impact. Ghost Rider definitely is basically the top of this list in my opinion. If you don't have this guy at tier 4 and you have a seasonal uniform is a must. Next one I want to talk about is Rogue, another seasonal character. You can see I have her rank really well. Meta for ABX, amazing for Giant Boss Raid, World Boss, Legend, and she is the best farmer in the game for dispatch missions and Dimension Rift. Next is Magneto, absolutely fantastic for ABX, ABL, Giant Boss Raid, World Boss, Legend, and he's good for dispatch. Storm is another one for you to consider, very good for ABL. She's a support character that buffs your Rogue as well, and she's a pretty good farmer for dispatch. However, she's kind of falling off a little bit because Rogue is just so much more powerful. Another one that I had to put on this list, again, another seasonal uniform, is Luna Snow. I'm trying to hit rank 666 because this girl's an absolute demon for PvE content. So hopefully I drop a couple more ranks and I stay there indefinitely. But anyways, Luna Snow, another seasonal uniform on this list. And the last seasonal is Black Bolt. These seasonal uniforms have a lot of staying power. Luckily, he's a male, so pretty much everyone should have this one. And if you don't have Magneto, you should have picked him up. He's been around twice. So yeah, these seasonal uniforms generally have a little bit of staying power once you get them up to tier 4. They don't get replaced as easily anymore. Next, we have Captain Marvel. Amazing for Giant Boss Raid, World Boss, ABX, and ABL. So if you don't care about ABX and ABL, she's still gonna clap cheeks in World Boss and Giant Boss Raid. I think she's a sleeper. A lot of people sleep on her because of the time she was released. She came out right after Odin and Loki, so people already got those universal tier 4s and they're like, yeah, we don't need her. She's absolutely amazing. I chose her over Loki because for Loki, you need a max build, and to be honest, the ROI on the max build brilliant tier 4 situation for Loki just rubbed me the wrong way, so I decided to leave him. And I don't think I am gonna tier 4 him. Sadly, I love Loki. He's absolutely amazing at level 80, but truthfully speaking, I don't think his tier 4 is as good of an investment. I think at level 80, he's good enough to do what I need him to do, especially since I already have tier 4 Thanos in his April Fool's uniform. Next up, we have Dr. Octavius. I got this guy with a maxed out build. I absolutely love him. I'm hoping he gets replaced at some point because I'm kind of getting bored of using him because I wanted to use somebody else. I've been using him for like what feels like a year now. But he's absolutely amazing for ABX and ABL. I like him for Giant Boss Raid. I don't particularly like him for World Boss anymore. That's just me, but I think his playstyle is very unique and very fun. He's very different from a lot of the characters that you get at tier 4. Pretty much he's very unique. Okay, he's one of the most unique tier 4s out there. So if you want a different experience, if you don't care about the fact that he's super meta for ABX and ABL and you want a tier 4 that's different, that's actually kind of fun and unique, Dr. Octavius, he's that guy. Next up, we have Moon Knight and Black Panther. These two are very close to each other in how they score for ABX. However, because I already had Moon Knight built really well, I decided I was not going to tier 4 Black Panther. They do the same thing. They're just for combat hero ABX. And it seems like that was a good decision on my part because Gladiator is going to replace both of them from what I'm seeing right now. So if you see yourself tier 4 in Gladiator, then you can just easily X these two off your list. Very good tier 4s, but at this point you have to keep in mind they're gonna have to keep making tier 4s stronger and stronger. So if somebody's already borderline getting pushed out of the meta, it's not a wise idea to tier 4 them because the only place they're gonna go in the future is down. He ain't lying. Next up, we have Mystique, and Mystique is literally only on this list because she is meta. She replaces Green Goblin for the speed super villain day, but she only is valuable for 1 day. To me, that's not worth it for a tier 4. If I'm not getting a bigger ROI, I can't justify that tier 4. So for me, I would not tier 4 her. I will not tier 4 her, and I would not recommend you tier 4 her, but I have to mention the fact that yes, she is meta. So if you are one of those guys that chase the highest scores possible in ABX and ABL, you're gonna need Mystique at some point. I'm definitely gonna pull my Mighty Rage off of her and go back to using just Green Goblin and give that Mighty Rage to somebody else. That's just my personal personal opinion on her.
So you give my regards to everybody in Loserville.
Now, moving into the PvP category, Hulk has fallen off quite a lot, and I see him falling even further, but he's still hanging in there when it comes to Otherworld Arena, and I see him from time to time depending on the ban list. So yes, Hulk is one you could consider for tier 4 if you really love him. He's very strong for PvP. Carnage is holding in there a little bit more because of his artifact, but again, he's also falling. No pun intended, the Fallen Soul Carnage uniform, but he's a beast. Okay, I still have him with a really good build because I like him and I use him depending on the ban list for Otherworld Arena because I want to get those tier 4 materials, right? So something for you to consider. Next up is Spider-Man. With Madeline Pryor being a blast character, Spider-Man is coming back a little bit, especially since Madeline is gonna wipe out Carnage and Hulk. Spider-Man is gonna come in and clean up a little bit more. He's also fallen a little bit, but he's still very, very, very powerful. I don't regret my build. I don't see myself stripping him of his Odins anytime soon, so he's one to consider, especially when you consider the fact that he's one of the older tier 4s. He's doing quite well. Next up, we have Hela, and Hela might be the character that I use my 40% discount on just because of her uniform bonus. She's an amazing support PvP tier 4, and in addition to that, since she has the undead artifact, she sticks around long enough to kill a lot of people. I just wish they had done a little bit more for her, man. I wish they had made it so that she had iframe ignore on her counter skill.
It's so dumb.
So dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb!
That's all they had to do, man, but they dropped the ball on this one. That's why I was just so disappointed. I didn't even make a single video on this uniform for Hela, sadly. But I'm definitely going to tier 4 her because if you go to Otherworld Arena on any given week, depending if there's a bunch of heroes running around, Hela is there to counter them. That says all you need to know. Now, there's a couple characters that you could tier 4 that are really fun, but again, it depends on where you are in the game. If you have the luxury of tier 4 in characters for fun, go ahead and do it. People like Miles Morales is really good. People like Venom, I still to this day use him. He's very strong, very, very strong, and very, very fun to play. I still enjoy playing with Namor from time to time, but truthfully speaking, if you look at how they are ramping up the production of these tier 4s and the cost behind tier 4ing them being so high, you might not want to be doing tier 4s for fun until you see what comes next, and make sure you are prepared, because if you've seen the survey, it's only a matter of time before Null and Sentry, one of these two, maybe even Mephisto, end up getting a tier 4 upgrade, and you want to have excess resources to tier 4 these guys because they're not going to be discounted. Now, unlike the tier 2 natives that are not necessarily double cost, they only cost maybe 1.5 times more materials than a regular tier 1 native tier 4. I think these tier 3 natives will definitely be double cost, so you can expect to spend, when these guys get tier 4s, expect to be spending at least 10,000 Soul of the Valtine, 10,000 Carbonadium and whatnot, getting them to tier 4. So with that being said, keep that in mind when you're going here. Don't just flush this opportunity down the toilet because you see it there, because once it's gone, and you don't know if they're gonna do this ever again.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.